What is the current state of gaming in 2019? This is Lynley James and Greg Barlow. I'm Douw Pretorius, and welcome to the Monday Night Replay. Lots to talk about with it, really. Lots of interesting things coming out, and topics ranging from in dev studios to just a lack of really big mainstay games so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big news out of E3 is pretty much everything pushing to next year.
Yeah, a few exceptions in like November, but pretty much everything March next year or later.
Yeah. Lots coming up, but none of it now.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's an interesting one there, and I think one of the big things around there, and we were discussing, and we'll discuss in our first section here, is that there's been a lot of pushback on crunch time within developer houses.
Yeah.
And Lynley, you were making the point before we were talking, is that you must suspect maybe a lot of these like later announcements is because of this backlash?
I think it's possible because we certainly seen a lot of people, a lot of the fans, saying that they'll wait for their games.
Yeah.
One, it's better for the game, fewer bugs, hopefully. Hopefully. But they don't want developers to kill themselves to entertain us.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, and we've seen it now with Apex a little bit, and we saw it with Nintendo pushing back Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Where people say they don't want the crunch or they don't want developers to kill themselves, but as soon as something gets delayed, people get a little bit irritated.
Yeah, I kind of felt the on the Nintendo side at least was much more from an investor sort of spot, like where their stocks took a dive after that announcement. But I don't know, I didn't see too much from the players really going up an uproar like, oh, when are we going to get this?
I saw a little bit of that,
okay.
But I think a lot of analysts were speculating that the drop in player rates for Apex wasn't just due to the poor season pass that they had, or season.
Yes.
It was a lot to do with the fact that they weren't pushing content the way Fortnite was.
Yeah, so you think about Fortnite, like they had Volcano explode, the map's constantly changing all the time. And we kind of on there's recently Epic announced a fortnight for their Fortnite team, I believe, where they can just go and do whatever. So I think they're recognizing it as well. I don't know how easy it's going to be for them to sort of ebb and like kind of go like, okay guys, we're turning the tap a little down here just so that we don't bleed. There's no blood in the water soon.
I mean, from the Apex perspective, Apex is still catching up because they've just announced their upcoming season 2 with a whole lot of map changes and a whole lot of new classes, and so it's not, they're definitely taking it slower.
Yeah,
and they may have lost some players, but I think that player loss was probably mostly just from the shiny new effect wearing off.
Well, I think that's certainly that, because all the people they paid to play it on launch played it, and then started the money went dried up, and they went back to Fortnite and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see, because you see the gaming numbers and just like YouTube and other things where your Minecrafts and your Robloxes have come back up on the top there. Even Fortnite's slowly starting to drop down.
Yeah.
And you think about those sort of games, they're not under terrible crunch like Minecraft League. This is a new thing. 6 months.
Nobody ever talks about the Minecraft dev team.
Microsoft. But yeah, we mentioned like those houses doing those things, but we've also seen on the other side where other companies have just flat out said like, no, it's just part and parcel of it. It's just what happens, and this is what it is.
It's part of the industry.
Yeah, I've actually seen it also leak into other industries like the animation industry. Recently, Rooster Teeth, there was a big sort of what do you call it? It's not a scandal.
Hullabaloo.
Yes, there's a big hullabaloo about how the Rooster Teeth animation team are sort of being driven into the ground to meet deadlines.
Yeah,
so
it's an interesting one to think about, because you've got two sides of that where you almost feel like a lot of guys with their indie roots, where you're very much invested, and if you don't do that, you're going to go under before you even get into the release. But on the other side, you've got these big, massive companies where it's very hard to fail. And where game sales are one thing, but investors are a whole other thing. Where that's where a lot of the income.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big issue is investor expectations of that stock price just going up.
Yeah, it has to be
and up
in there.
and up. And that forces early release of games, and you have to hit that fiscal deadline and that sort of thing. And I think that's where crunch comes from as well. But looking at it, friends of mine who've been in the IT industry, devs, programmers, crunch has always been a part of the industry.
It's always there, like, and it can be from like small projects to big projects, and there's all sorts of things that happen for that. But a lot of the time that can be from over-speccing, it can be from like guaranteeing certain things at certain times. I don't know how much that is on the gaming side, of where you've got a little bit of space to be more agile, but you get forced into that date, as you say. As soon as that forced date comes in, it doesn't matter how much you sort of scoped or spec'd for that. And I wonder, a lot of things, it sounds like a lot of gaming houses, especially the big ones, kind of factor in that, crunch is just going to be a thing, you know?
Well, we saw that with Anthem.
Yes.
That BioWare magic. There's this like crunch period where it'll just all come together because we're crunching and we're working together. And I think what's happening now is a lot of people are saying it's not worth it anymore. The industry's not worth it. The salaries they earn aren't worth it. We've had an issue recently with the Black Ops 40.
Yes.
Where the QA guys were basically told, well, you get paid what you get paid. You can't share in the bonuses. You can't share in the parties and that sort of thing. But off you go and make sure that there aren't any bugs in our
it was interesting with there, because like just the identity there, like the contractors have different tags, different color tags. They can't have the same thing. They were told the office parties, like, no, can't go from there.
Or they were only allowed to go for 20 minutes or something. Stupid.
That's crazy.
So it's a weird one, but I think that's a completely other like problem as well. But you also think how much is I think it is with them on the Black Ops. They have a thing of the regular hours you get regular time. If you work a 12-hour day, you get 1.5 time for the whole time of it, and if you work a 16-hour, you get a double day. So that's like thing of it. And how far does that money actually go into it before it becomes just like you're too broken and you blow out of the gaming industry itself? There's a lot of stories of people going into the sort of AAAs and just it completely ruins them. They leave gaming entirely.
But I mean, the other thing is, it's great to get 1.5 times or double time. It depends on what that base rate is.
Double nothing is still nothing.
Exactly. I think that was the issue with these QA guys, because they were getting something like $15 an hour, which is just above minimum wage, I think, in the US, or something along those lines. And so, while the dev teams hit their bonuses and drive brand new Teslas, these guys are driving 15-year-old cars.
It's a thing there. You think about this like CD Projekt Red, like they're quite infamous for it.
And they basically said it's our culture. That's our
It is like it seems to be their line. It's the power line across their entire company. It's like, no, it crunches just how we do, how we work on it. They crunch hard to get Witcher 3 out, like in time and everything. It sounds like probably Cyberpunk's going to be similar.
Well, hitting a March date has to be.
I wonder if different countries have different levels of crunch. Like if a Japanese dev studio, because they have a tradition of being quite crunchy
just like
as a business corporate.
Last person out.
So I wonder if they're as harsh currently as the American dev studios are.
It's kind of brought up as, in America, and especially with some of like where they're positioning in places, because not everyone's moved out to North Carolina or whatever. They're in LA. Prices are huge, housing prices are huge, and everything. We mentioned CD Projekt Red, it's Romania, it's little. There's not much of anything there, so
cost of living is down.
It's you're earning similar prices because it's a global thing, but your cost of living is dramatically reduced. So then it can be kind of worth it. Like, I'm getting double my pay here. That's a big difference to my year. In comparison to we're gonna learn double. Well, that means I can maybe make my rent.
The lights can be on tonight.
It was also interesting, like just the corporate culture around that as well, because as much as a lot of companies have come back and said, well, people are willingly doing this, and we always give the option, you're not going to get penalized or anything for that. But as soon as one person's not crunching, everyone else sort of on the team kind of goes like, the guy, like we get this done, sort of like thing.
And I think we had that. Was it Epic? where it came out that guys were all on contracts, and if you didn't crunch and you didn't do the extra hours, you wouldn't get a permanent contract or another contract or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was effectively, you don't have to do it, but if you don't do it, you're not going to get a job.
Yeah, which is... Yeah, it's an interesting thing to see around what's going around there, but it's more interesting to see just now that it's become more visible, what are people actually doing about it, and like...
I think there's a lot of pushback from the developers now. They now say it's not worth it. And
I think it's interesting to see the rumors and mutterings of trying to get like unions together for it.
Ooh, okay.
Which
that'd be interesting.
I know Jason Schreier is a big proponent of that.
Yeah,
he's not organizing, but he's one of the guys like pushing for it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you think about things like the Voice Actors Guild that came out there because they demanded more of it. So I think a lot of that is, but especially in the tech companies, especially on the like developer side, unions are a taboo topic of note. So it's
I just think in America, unions are taboo at this stage.
Quite, Well, considering the government's in place at the moment and everything like there, it's more traditionalist. They're not really. It's an interesting one to see because it's supposed to be the party of the worker. So
ironically, as in you should be getting to work.
Yes. Get
I'll do the work.
Yes, we'll see. I wonder if we'll see more games getting pushed out. Maybe because of that, and I wonder, as much as our fans and sort of stuff are saying like, no, it's okay with that. Like, will we see fan backlash of that?
I think we will, because we've got these lull periods now, like this period, our winter, Northern Hemisphere summer, where there's not much coming out, and I think fans are like, well, I've got nothing to play.
That's what the Steam sales for.
Steam sale, just pick up all those old games you haven't played yet.
But I want my new game. I want the Death Strandings and that sort of thing. So where are those games? And I think the fans need to either put up or shut up.
It's a difficult one to say that though, because I mean a lot of people I think there's a social thing with that as well. You know, we expect the latest FIFA, we expect the latest Call of Duty, we expect a new Assassin's Creed, and we expect them. And as much as we say, oh no, we can't buy it, as soon as that small portion button, like you start seeing it, and you're like, damn. I think it's a special thing with your Call of Duty is a special thing with that because you've only really got about 2 months where it's really you can play a lot of competitive multiplayer before it goes off to the clans and sort of stuff only really where they're doing stuff. So
well, we'll see. I mean, it's not as if the rest of this year is barren.
No,
it's still Death Stranding for those people. Call of Duty is coming out.
When is it not?
Sometimes.
I feel like there's always a Call of Duty coming out. It's just like a universal constant.
Yeah, well, they've got multiple teams working.
Staggered.
So.
I wonder if they're crunched.
Apparently, with this one they were.
Because there's a whole bunch of switch outs.
Yeah, because they weren't happy with next year's version, so they pulled Treyarch back onto it or something onto the. I don't know.
Lots of interesting things happening on there. But thinking about like games in there, we've seen a lot of interesting games being released in the last year now. We had an article about our top 10 games, and hopefully these ones weren't crunched too badly.
We don't really know, but we can
only assume that yes, there must have been at some point. Hopefully not too bad. But I think we can move on from there to our favorite games, which are I think a little bit different from our article. We're a little bit less on the objective side, just the scores. So I think my favorites so far this year has been like everything released by Devolver. Just knock it out of the park. They've been doing it since last year. I think they've just kept on going with it. So this year we've seen things like Katana Zero, Ape Out, Gato Roboto, and Observation. They've all been stellar. I've really enjoyed playing each of those.
Which one's your favorite out of all of them?
Out of those ones.
We're playing favorites now.
Yeah, probably Katana Zero, I suppose. Just like it had that style, a very Hotline Miami, but not.
Different enough to be unique.
It was short and sweet.
Similar enough to be cool.
Gave me enough of a taste to be like, okay, well, I want to see what the rest is going in the sequel. They gave a really good patch right after the release as well, where it improved, like there was a hard mode, time trials, and sort of things like that, and the ability to pet the cat in the first level.
That's an important feature.
It is. So. Yeah, that was probably there, but each of those have been really good.
They look like great for the Switch.
Yes.
Is that where you played it? Or?
No, I played on PC. It was the price difference was just a little bit too much on there. I found that with a couple of things. Similar with like My Friend Pedro, which good game. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's not necessarily one of my favorites of this year yet.
Yeah, I haven't played it. It just looks like a hell of a stylish shooter.
So that one was something like 3 times the price on Switch. So it was like, grab it on Steam, thank you. It's also a shooter, so I'll use that with the flaky controls. Gato Roboto is perfect for the Switch.
Okay.
So it's a Metroidvania, like old 8-bit style, and you play as a cat of this like space commander. You get a little suit. Yes. It's Gato Roboto. So and you go around. It's very Metroidvania. So it's like, you X this level, you get this ability, which lets you get there,
which gives you that ability.
Yeah, but it's done very stylishly. They've got you collect cartridges during the game, which changes the palettes, so you can make it like very old Game Boy style.
That's cool.
That's been really cool. Observation was interesting. I personally feel the final act kind of let it down a little. Up until that point, it was really good. And it knows what it was trying to do. It was that sort of thriller, trying to be. Are you a horror game? Are you not a horror game? Are you what type of horror game are you doing? Should I be locking all the doors behind Astaroth and trying to protect them?
And should you be locking them away from yourself?
Yes, exactly. And also making it all like clunky controls, deliberately so though.
Yes.
Okay.
Which really worked out nicely. Ape Out is just like, it's a lot of fun. It's just a jaunt, it's just jazz, and really interesting technology in the background there. So they had a jazz group playing stuff, but it procedurally does the thing. So as you're playing through and you throw someone into a wall or they explode and stuff, they'll do a crash the drum.
That's very clever.
Sort of stuff like that.
That's very interesting.
And they play around with that quite a bit. Also short and sweet, but easy enough on the computer. Difficult as a twin sticker on that I got on my Switch, and that's been a lot of fun with that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys?
I myself have been playing a lot of Apex Legends since it came out. I've got a friend that plays quite often, and we often just jump together and play a little bit. And we even played at the Legends event here with you.
Yes.
You joined. You became our third. We shanghaied you in, and we became the unluckiest team.
Yes, that's great.
We didn't win any actual events, but we were the unluckiest.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's good fun. Even though the first season patch was a bit lackluster, I was quite forgiving because the game itself was still quite enjoyable to begin with, so I didn't feel like they needed to add a whole lot of content.
Yeah, gunplay was very solid. I think that's a lot of thing that actually brought it goodwill with players. And they had at least 2 champs released pretty quickly, and then you were kind of okay, I'm gonna have to wait.
But so that fills a lot of my time, and I've leaned more towards short, quick playing games recently, just because life is busy. And to fill that void, I've been playing things like Slay the Spire, which is a little card game, sort of. You go through levels on a tower, and you play through cards. And
so it's a deck builder.
Deck builder, yes, that's the word I was looking for. Card game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that one because a lot of people have been playing Hearthstone. Has had a recent expansion where they've got that built into it as well.
Oh, okay.
And it's also, you build up your deck,
same idea.
Unlock new hero powers, and you unlock new cards, and you get a portion of cards to draft into your deck between everything. So I think they kind of inspired each other on there, where Hearthstone had their adventures before, and they were quite interesting, and then they moved it over into there. There's actually a really cool extra credits where they go through the history of sort of deck builders.
Let's look it up, because deck builders also have their roots back in board game land.
Yes,
that's where I first ever encountered them, where you sort of progressively go through the board game. Changing your deck as you go along. Thunderstone, most iconic.
As you know, I've got an irrational hatred of card games.
Oh dear.
Okay. Yeah, well, I like it. So deck builders are slightly different in that it's not a collectible card game or anything like that. It's literally just a mechanic to play your game.
It's kind of like a road. It's a roguelike.
Yeah, it's a roguelike.
It becomes literally like a roguelike, where it's just like, okay, well, I've got this move set this time around, and the next time I've got this move set.
It's literally just like going down a level up path almost. But as a one shot, instead of a long-term RPG character, you're literally building your character as you go through the dungeon. So.
Irrational hatred of games.
You should play Dicey Dungeons.
Yes, Dicey Dungeons instead. That's just dice rolling instead of cards.
Yes. Cards to tell you what your dice do.
Yes. I suppose there is kind of. They're not cards. They're little equipment. They're equipment.
Yes, totally not.
They're not cards in any way.
It's in the form of.
Other than that, we were just discussing earlier, we've both been playing a lot of Wargroove.
Yep.
Which is a tactical turn-based.
Yeah, I mean, I picked that up because one, it's tactical turn-based, and two, it scratches that little bit of a Final Fantasy Tactics itch, because Square doesn't seem to like Final Fantasy Tactics for whatever reason. But
real time, damn it, real time.
Yeah,
wow. Getting started on that. But it's a really fun little tactical game. Difficult as all hell very quickly. I mean, it's a very steep learning curve. So I was kicking my backside a hell of a lot. But it's still fun. Nice sort of, I wouldn't say it's 16-bit graphics, but it's kind of...
It's definitely at that level.
It's like that Game Boy Advance sort of thing. It's very advanced wars.
Beautiful soundtrack as well. Like, I love the flow of the music and how they've composed it together.
Yeah. And there's some interesting mechanics like taking over buildings and that sort of
thing. Very advanced warsy, actually. It reminds me of a mix between Final Fantasy Tactics and Advanced Wars.
Not bad to pick your inspirations from.
So, I mean, I've been playing that a bit. I've actually... to go back sort of 22 years, but it came out on the Switch this year, was Final Fantasy VII. So I've been playing through that again.
Getting ready for remake next year.
We'll see.
Mind yourself the story.
It's a good port, but weirdly it's in 4:3 aspect ratio on that little screen. So it's very small.
Yeah.
So when you're on the overworld and you open up the big map, you actually can't see much.
You gotta squint down.
You actually have to squint down. So it is a bit weird that way. But it's the PC version, so it's got some of those PC bugs. But it does
does at least get you through the Chocobo races.
Yes.
That was always the PC version's like biggest thing was like, okay, well this saves bust. I'm gonna have to try something to get off the golden saucer.
So it's got that. If you press in the left thumbstick, it speeds it up 3 times. If you press in the right thumbstick, it's God mode. So you don't have to worry about driving.
Hey, what was it? Ruby Weapon?
Yeah. So it's great for if you just want the story.
To sort of refresh the storyline in your mind. Oh yeah, I can see that being nice.
So it's quite nice. It's quite good.
Yeah.
But then
kind of a high price point if I remember correctly though.
It was 200 and something.
Okay, that's much better.
Because
I mean, like they released a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of those remakes and stuff, and they've been released on Android and all sorts over the show. And they're all like
$20.
Yeah.
It was stupidly expensive.
Nostalgia of tax.
Yes.
So the Switch version's not bad. I mean, Final Fantasy X on the Switch, I want to get it, but that's like 770 rand. So.
Does it include everything in X2 as well?
Yeah. So it's the same.
So
the remaster they did in PS4.
Yeah.
But it's
still.
X2.
You played it once, and
it's magical, like girl dress
still
up.
changing. Sparkles.
But the other game that's actually on our list that I have played is The Division 2, which is lots of fun, really good. But again, if you're going to try and solo it, it's not as fun.
Are you still playing it?
I am, because I can go in for 10 or 20 minutes. Because you can just do one quick mission and then get out. So I'm not going to hit the level cap anytime in my lifetime. Or get to any of the DLC or the extra raids or that sort of thing. But it's fun. It's really good shooting mechanics.
Look like it. I always worry with that one is it can feel a bit bullet spongy when you're in this realistic where you've got like, I've got this 8 cog and I'm like,
you should just take someone down as opposed to...
I've got to put 20 headshots into this guy.
So it is that, but I think it works fine because the guys have armor now, so you shoot the armor off, so it kind of makes sense more than the first one. But it's not like Destiny, which is the sci-fi mechanic.
I feel the first one there. Like it also looks interesting with like little extra support things and the roles you can take in it as well.
So it is good, it is fun, but again, like I said, if you're going to solo it, maybe not wait for a sale or to go free to play.
Hasn't it gone free to play?
No, Destiny's going free to play. Destiny 2.
Okay. I heard rumors of Division as well though.
What? Yeah, apparently it hasn't sold as well as they expected, which is surprising. And then you've got Breakpoint coming out, so that all those people are going to jump to Breakpoint.
Yes.
So it's a bit weird that Ubisoft is pushing out these shooters now.
Yes. All in a row.
Online shooters,
I think it's one of those things of they probably had it in the pipeline. And we have to kind of release this. Might find other things where it's something with the bigger companies, they sometimes don't talk between the silos.
No, that is possible because I thought they may be going on sort of the Activision route with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So they would have done
staggered.
Last year would have been Wildlands, or a couple of years ago, Wildlands, then Division,
Mm.
then Wildlands, then Division, but now it seems to be bunching up.
Yeah.
What it is.
So they got fans from different areas, and it's a different game with different people. That's
Sure.
yeah. Just thinking other games on this, I haven't gotten into it yet, but there was Devil May Cry, which
I've heard it's good, but I just
widely regarded
yeah.
So
I really love the prequels, but I haven't ever gotten around to any of the new ones.
okay, well, yeah. So this one sort of takes place between, I think it was between 2 and 3.
Does it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really like 3.
Geez,
So.
Yeah, the Devil May Cry timeline is wobbly
It's
all over the
difficult to kind of keep it in
show.
contiguous order.
Even 5, it starts your first fight's the last boss.
Oh,
Of course.
So,
Of course.
No, well, why not?
yeah, so you can if you beat him in that point, you win the game. So it's a ending.
That's a nice touch.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's almost
It's my
twice. You
$60.
generally do it your new game plus. When you do that.
Yeah.
Other ones like Bloodstained, which recently scored very high. I think it's our top rated game so far this year.
I think so.
Which is virtually Castlevania, but made by the guys who made Castlevania.
Castlevania of the future.
Yes. Yeah. So I also love that it's got digs apparently all over the show at.
Yes, yeah. I've heard about that. That everything he throws quite a bit of shade back at.
Yeah. Apparently, there's an entire level that throw shade on them. So interesting to see there. A couple of bugs, it sounds like, on a couple of systems, and especially on the Switch port. We'll wait to see what happens on the computer one, but people seem to be loving it. And as far as this is a Metroidvania that everyone has wanted and is now finally getting.
And I know when it initially released, the art style people weren't happy with, and they went and redid the art style.
Yes.
It looks really good. It's a beautiful looking game. The one that always strikes me is that, I think it's a boss battle where it's a double-headed dragon and you're running around the tower.
It's quite iconic.
It looks really good.
Yeah. I think it's one of those ones where I'm I'm going to get some PC. When it's on a bit of a sale.
As well.
It's not the genre that's generally for me, but
Yes.
from just the look and from how fans of the series have been talking.
As well. I'm also not a fan of those games because I've got terrible reflexes.
But every now and then, that sort of there's those gems in a genre that you're like, I guess I've got to at least try the game because everyone says it's so good for its genre.
There's the one that came out this year that you keep dying. It's also a Metroidvania that I want to try just because it really
like. Which roguelike was it?
I can't remember. Dead Cells.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
It does look interesting as well. It's another one that's kind of I think it's on sale at the moment, so it's hey, I'll probably pick this up. Other releases, I think we haven't necessarily played, but was very high rate was Kingdom Hearts. Finally a release in that series. I'm surprised. Is it one of the Final Fantasy-esque ones that you're just no, or?
Well, I'm just glad it didn't disappoint after 10 years between and all those
major
little point versions.
Yeah.
So I'm glad for the fans it didn't disappoint them. I tried to play Kingdom Hearts 1 recently, that remaster that came out. Not for me.
Really?
It just doesn't click with me.
I could never get through the storyline either for some reason. I don't know why.
It's very convoluted. Very convoluted.
No,
I tried.
You just don't get it.
Clearly I just don't get it. At least we tried.
We tried.
Did you guys get Tropico 6?
Not yet.
But I did get Anno 1800, which is kind of in the same category.
different time periods.
I mean, you are still smuggling items from the old world to the new world.
Yes.
So, and it was quite enjoyable from a sort of city management and logistics perspective. If you like logistics management, wow, that game.
Yes.
You're just optimizing supply chains. And you're annexing islands so that you can get that one thing that grows on that island on the other island, and then
if you're a tradition player in Civ 5.
Exactly. Tradition player in Civ 5, Anno 1800 is for you. They've taken a lot of time and trouble to really animate the little minutiae of your cities and stuff.
Okay.
So if you zoom in all the way down to the city level, you've got little 1800s people going around saying catchy one-liners about, oh, have you seen my dog about? And it's but there's always a different one-liner, and there's always someone else saying it.
Yeah.
It's guys, you spend so much time putting these details in, and no one's ever going to look at them more than
a few times.
Yeah,
There's will be oh,
when they're bored.
So relaxing. They have their own lives.
Well, it's relaxing until like the pirates in the like tropical islands like raid your colony and like burn it to the ground, and you're like, well, I'm broke now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good fun. Good fun.
Yeah, I think like earlier in the year I was playing Dirt 2, which if you're a rally fan, you kind of owe it to yourself to get hold of. Just exceptional, like everything from the mechanics. A little bit of damage on the car, you feel every part of it. The tracks were very well involved, well thought out. Absolutely beautiful to like play through as well. And the nice thing of there where they also had like the Rally X stuff, so cross. So you can just be like, okay, well, I rather want to just do my souped up like half on street drifting around stuff rather than doing a traditional track. Had a lovely campaign of going through the cast through the years and stuff as well. So I think that one is a definite if you are a rally fan.
I like racing games, just never picked it up. The racing games.
Yeah.
The last one I played was a Colin McRae game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a while back. Those were all the games that got me into them. Just from there, like, got the steering wheel and was just like, yeah. So that's another thing. If you are one of the people who have like a proper full steering wheel like setup, and you've got gearbox and all that sort of thing, get Dirt. It's very good. And then I think my last sort of thing that has been more that I've watched so much of it online is just auto chess.
Oh right, yes. It's the new craze. That's hit the nation.
Like for the next 2 months, I think it's just gonna die a miserable day.
No, first there will be some game studio that releases their. I mean, there is sort of like the official modded versions in games. But there's going to be one of the big game studios is going to release like a standalone version.
Well, I mean, they are already, because I mean, there's Underworld, there's Underlord, sorry, there's Auto Chess itself, which is like branched off by itself thing.
I mean, he came out at the PC Gamer Show.
Yeah.
The development.
And then there's Team Fight Tactics, which is the League of Legends one now.
But I mean, they're still
and Blizzard has to release
in the same engine, aren't they?
No, how could they be?
Because they use them and smorgasbord them.
The League of Legends ones and the League of Legends thing.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like they're all using their own engine.
Oh, no, so do it. Auto Chess is its own thing.
Yeah. It's its own rule set.
No, it's always Auto Chess the game.
Because there is Dota originally?
Yes. Yeah, so as I understand it, Valve spoke to them about doing an auto chess game together.
Okay, right.
And then for whatever reason they couldn't work together.
Yeah, so that's why we've got Underlords. It's going to get like wrong.
Overlords.
So Underlords, which is what Dota 2, that's in the Dota 2 engine. Then there's Auto Chess, which is just Auto Chess by itself.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe they're using they've licensed the Dota engine from Valve. Maybe they've created their own.
I think it's a Unity thing.
Looks
Unity, because, but like that is separate, and then the League of Legends one is obviously separate, and that uses a different grid system and a different buying and a different.
I mean, they had to put their own spin on it, so otherwise everyone would just be like, why don't I just play the old one?
And like I said, Blizzard has to come with their one eventually.
Don't think they will. I think they got burnt on the HOTS.
Yeah, fair.
And I don't think like they've got similar, because like the reason why Dota 2 had it is because you got the map maker.
True.
You got all that. True. So you might see like a StarCraft 2 version of it.
There probably is already a StarCraft 2 version of it. That StarCraft 2 arcade is pretty full.
Pretty bad, yeah.
I haven't played StarCraft 2 in 3 or 4 years.
Actually, just about a month ago, I played a whole lot of arcade maps with a friend, and they were actually really fun. Because there's been so much dev time going into these maps. They're actually enjoyable.
Speaking of StarCraft, did you see the Carbot for the original animations for the original StarCraft?
Yeah.
So they're doing a StarCraft remaster, and for that they've got Carbots.
Okay, that same mod pack that they made for StarCraft 2.
Kind of, but more detailed.
Yeah.
And it looks really cute and weird to see.
The Carbot pack
Zerglings. Cute fluffy Zerglings. Destroy everything.
Yes. Any other games do you guys would like to put forward to our public?
I just thought of one. 2 Point Hospital.
I forgot about that.
Because I was an amazing fan of Theme Hospital when I was younger, and I played to death. Like so much so that I started learning the medical conditions, the fake medical conditions, and being like, I think you might have big head syndrome.
Did you lick the foil from the yogurt?
Oh no, don't do that. Your skin's gonna go transparent. And so 2 Point Hospital now, just the ability to go back and have that soothing music as you're falling in a hospital and everything's going wrong and everyone's dying.
New diseases, they couldn't use the same ones.
On the management sim sort of thing, Jurassic Park Evolution, Jurassic World Evolution. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. Create your own dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Always good.
Put out the goats. Put out the goats.
And then you can do the hybrids and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's not bad. It's not quite Zoo Tycoon.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
But it's fun.
Away.
It's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of that, not a hell of a lot of it, but yeah, if you like management sims and you want to play with dinosaurs,
Here we go.
yeah.
I mean, it works together.
And they do seem to have gotten Jeff Goldblum to do the voice.
Yeah,
Oh, really? That's
does that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So he comes up in the beginning.
Oh, that's
and
perfect.
sort of thing, yeah.
Well done.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So hopefully you have a lot of new games to try and give a look at while you wait for Death Stranding.
Or don't.
Yeah. We know what Lynley's opinion about this. But hopefully you'll be able to hold on to all of those games. As our next thing we wanted to cover is games as a service. And all of the trials and tribulations that come with that.
Right.
Because it is one of those things where I think a lot of us are realizing now, especially with like the push to Stadia, the push to what's the Xbox version now?
Game Pass.
Game Pass now.
Or
as well.
xCloud.
So there's a lot of push to have these streaming gaming services where you don't even own your game. You own a Netflix equivalent sort of like thing of this is the catalog. As long as you're paying to the catalog, your saves are safe and everything's there. And go and play it on there.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see the natural how the industry's trending towards this because of things like Humble Bundle and stuff, where people are very happy to pay their monthly Humble fee, get X amount of games every month, and be happy.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
So,
So you can see why developers are like, if people are willing to pay a monthly sub, then why don't we just give them a whole library?
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up Humble though, because Humble are one of the few games. Is it Humble or is it GOG? I think it's GOG that do it, where they guarantee that your game will never.
That's
Yes.
GOG. Yeah.
That's
No digital rights management.
so
ever.
you can download it.
It's been interesting because it's what Minecraft Story Mode,
Yeah.
where it's just gone.
Yeah.
You can play it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yay.
or if you had bought it, but you can't buy it again.
Yes.
So if you bought it before, it's still available somehow.
Right.
Except on 360.
No. So that's the whole thing of it. So it's not available anywhere except for like on your Xboxes. On your Xboxes, it's only available to buy because they couldn't not have it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to play it like that. So you can buy it for like $100 an episode or something like that.
Something like that.
Whoa.
That's to prevent people. So to allow people who have bought something and like being like, oh no, people would never buy it for that much.
Oh, little do they know.
So I mean, for me, I like these because I subscribe to EA Access on both Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
And the premium one on PC, so that I don't have to buy Jedi Fallen Order and get burnt by it. I can,
Right, yes, you can say, I got it for free.
That second video looked good.
I've got Game Pass, and I upgraded for the $1 to Game Pass Ultimate, which got me to December, and some people who had stacked their Xbox Live memberships to next year got it for $1 to next year.
Yeah.
Right.
What else do I have? I've got a couple of these.
Many lots.
And it's really good. It's good, but then you start adding up the costs: $15 here a month, $15 there a month. Suddenly you're spending a stupid amount of money for this easy access to everything. And then when you look at EA Access, it's just the EA games and a few non-EA games. And how often are you going to be playing those unless you play FIFAs and the Maddens and those quite a bit. And then the other issue is I know Stadia. If you do the Ultimate Stadia to get the 4K game and you pay $10 a month, but you still have to buy your games.
Yes.
So you don't get it as part of the Stadia sub. So, and I think you buy it through, so the only good thing is you buy it through like Uplay for the Ubisoft games. So at least there you still
have it in Uplay.
Yeah, so if you stop Stadia, you still got it on your Uplay. Because we saw today with Microsoft, they're closing down their bookstore.
Yes.
And everybody who bought books through them are going to lose their books. The only good thing is you're going to get your money back. So Microsoft is going to pay you whatever you paid in.
That's interesting.
But again, the reason you bought a book is to have a book, not to have your money.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's strange. You'd think they'd just give them like a download.
An EPUB or something.
An EPUB, something like that.
It's weird. So they're not even doing that.
Yeah, obviously it's a licensing issue or something they can't.
I think, who knows? I think their bookstore just didn't work and it failed and they decided to exit. So what happens when Google inevitably decides Stadia doesn't fall into
Isn't
their
working,
catalog of services, like most of their services.
Like I can think of a lot of Google services that's happened to. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about that's Plus.
Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Various other Google services.
But Gmail's about the only one that's survived.
Actually, stayed strong.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the big worry with games as a service is what's going to happen. Sony was almost bankrupt a few years back. What happens if Sony does go under? What happens to your library then?
Yeah,
and all the money you pay.
I actually remember back in the day when the concept of updating your games first was introduced, and not everyone had an internet connection.
Yeah.
And it was like, I need to update my game before I can play it.
Anyway, for my like
$7 weekend.
Insert like game like publication of the time.
Yeah, your favorite game
multiple
magazine.
CDs or DVDs
for the updates.
Hope that they put the patch on that one.
And slowly over time, it's become acceptable because of fast connectivity. And stuff.
Mm.
So I wonder if it'll just be the same, and eventually it'll just become that's how it's done.
Yeah,
Well, I think it is moving to that, but I think this anxiety over I've paid my money.
I need a physical item.
Because I think a few years back it was Bruce Willis. He took Apple to task because he wanted to put his iTunes library, which apparently is quite substantial, into his world.
Yes,
to
his children.
And Apple said, no, sorry, you've just got a license and it's tied to you. So when you die,
it's not an asset. You look at your technically your game library and stuff. Yeah. You don't own those games. You own the right to play those games.
So I know that's what they tried through the EULA to say, and lots of lawyers have come out and said, you own a physical disc, you own the games.
Yes.
But now that you don't own a physical disc, you just own the right to download it effectively.
No, but I mean, it's game software, everything across there. If you actually do read through EULAs, which most people don't, there is the clause of, it's like you own the right to install the software and run it on your thing, but you don't actually own the software. And I mean, it is that clause there is deliberately just that you don't have reverse engineering and that sort of stuff. But like your game's not being something there, when they do decide to shut
access to all the games again. So maybe it's not such a bad thing.
But having said that, I see the appeal of the streaming services because I started playing Watch Dogs 2 again. And I was playing on my gaming PC in my study the other weekend, and it was going great and all that, and I was enjoying it. And then my wife wanted to do something. She wanted to play Rock Band, Rocksmith.
Yes.
So I had to hand over my gaming PC to her. But I've got a gaming laptop, so I thought, it would be nice if I could just play it there. But then I had to go copy files, go across. At least there's a cloud saving service that now allows me to go in between. So, but if you have an xCloud, it's just like, screw it. I'll just go and play on my phone.
When we get there, that. I always think that's kind of gimmicky because there's already games like, there are systems that do that already. And a lot of people have done that. There was a big push in the end of last year where people are like, let's start playing this game of Tekken here, and then move it onto this screen, and then move it onto our phones, and move it onto this, or whatever.
So I can see that convenience factor, and I can see the appeal of it.
Yeah.
It's just that, am I willing just to pay a subscription fee all the time?
I also kind of worry is the saves and the cloud saves there. We already see it with Nintendo, where your cloud saves are locked behind an account paywalls are there, and we saw it with PlayStation as well, the previous thing, where they hold it on for a certain amount of time before, and fair enough on them. Space takes price,
the cloud is someone else's computer at the end of the day.
All of Amazon.
The cloud is Amazon at the end of the day.
So all that money going in there. So what happens when you go through a thing? You have a kid, you don't have enough money, so then you move to a new place, you buy a house, or the budget isn't there anymore, but you really want to go back and play that game that you and your friend were playing back before. You can't. There's no sort of thing. I wonder, will they allow you to pull your saves down, to be uploaded again?
Store it on your own little hard drive.
A flash drive of memories of my Minecraft server.
More philosophically importantly, does it matter if you lose your saved game and you've gone through 10 years of life, and then you're like, I really want to play this game again.
maybe.
And then you load up your old save game, and you're like, what was I thinking?
What was I doing?
Start a new character.
Some games, but some have back progression and stuff. You might have like multiplayer where you've unlocked a whole bunch of stuff.
Like if you for some reason lost your WoW character, for example, because you're no longer playing your Blizzard subscription.
Yes.
And if you don't pay it within like 6 months, they delete your character.
Yeah.
Whoa. that would hit home. Like, all those hours.
So hopefully it's not going that way with those ones, but what's to stop them from it as well?
What's to stop them to charge you a maintenance fee?
I mean, that's kind of what your subscription is.
But maybe you could like have the subscription fee, and then if you wanted to downgrade it to just maintenance fee, like much cheaper, like 99 cents a month, and they keep your saves, but you can't play. That would be an interesting service.
It would, but
because then you've got to make the decision.
Wow, it sounds like so fraught with like.
Let's hope we're not giving people ideas.
Also, that just makes me think of like the typical sort of subscription thing where they're like, oh no, just get the 6-month subscription, and the subscription deal is the one that has all the benefits and stuff, because we know that you'll forget to not.
Oh yeah. When it gets to that 6 months and your card gets charged again.
So that kind of feels like me that where you're like, oh well, I really want to hold on to these things, be nostalgic, and I think like all your hoarders, those poor hoarders,
digital hoarders.
I think everybody's moved to digital hoarding.
Some of us physically hoard still too. We do both.
We have far too many Warhammer armies.
That's why you get 3D printers, so you can always just print up a new one.
Some of us have those too.
Exactly.
The amount of plastic waste that lives in my house is too high.
I don't know if there's anything other like you guys think about bringing up around it.
So, I mean, there are existing services and stuff like this, like Audible and stuff, where I wouldn't be stressed if Audible tomorrow said we're shutting down, you lose all your audiobooks. I would be like annoyed. Yeah. But I've listened to them all already, except for maybe the most recent one. Then I'd be annoyed, like, let me finish my book.
No,
but it's kind of like the equivalent would be you move house and you give away a box of books, because your new house is smaller or whatever. Yeah. So you're sad to see the books go, but you've read them all. So, I don't know. I'd have to see how irate I'd be.
But to me, that the difference there is you making the conscious decision to give away the books.
That's true.
It's not like somebody else saying, "Oh, screw you!
Your house service is expired. Please throw your books away." So that,
we're here to burn them all.
Probably should just come into your house and take them all back.
I'm sorry, the license on your books is expired.
What?
No, the license on your bookshelf is expired. So the books are just in a pile on the floor.
You guys haven't been to Rush, I don't think, but
another gaming sort of like thing that was recently and around. Perhaps a different take on away from subscription to let's sit down and actually play.
Yes.
Or wander around and look at cosplayers.
Yeah, well, this year it was Rush and Geek Fest put together.
They were paired.
Yes, and used the same venue out in Pretoria, which is what the Times Square.
So your one ticket bought you access to both.
Yes, although so what I heard was you arrived, you had to buy a ticket for one or the other, and the people at the gates were confused about it as well, because I mean you buy one to get into either, but they were like, no, if you buy the Rush one, there's the thing, because the Rush guys are having a special thing after a show or whatever, and they're like,
right,
okay.
And they suddenly realized
you still could do both anyway.
They had no access control, internal access control wasn't there.
So I did hear there was a little bit of stuff around that, but one and get both. It started up on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Apparently Friday was pretty dead, unfortunately. It's about the second year running apparently for Rush anyway. But Saturday was packed.
As it always is,
which would be normal.
Geekfest, one thing Geekfest always gets right is their advertising, because you always know when a Geekfest is going to occur. They just beacon it out there, and it was a bit far away this time, all the way in Pretoria, but a lot of people still went through. So
I think it's not a bad plan either going out to Pretoria. The Joburg's sort of con scene is a bit packed.
Yeah, we're all overloaded with our Icon and Comic Con and
just every
what else was running? Rage. So
like a lot of mismatching of different things, because it's one of the things that gets brought up a lot is you don't see necessarily your like tabletop board game geeks at a gaming event. You don't see your gaming guys at any other sort of events either. So interesting to see a amalgamation of that. Though I've read sort of like things. So our friends over at The Glitched have a really good like opinion piece out there, and as mentioned by Marco, is just they had a bit of a mishmash where it wasn't. This is Geekfest and Rush together. This is just it's Geekfest where Rush is running. And it's Rush where Geekfest is running.
Just coincidentally, it's Geekfest and Rush, not Geekfest and Rush.
Yes. And that kind of showed through also. You mentioned the advertising, but how much advertising did you see of
Rush?
Never. From Geekfest. How much did you see Geekfest from Rush?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to see that, though I don't think it's definitely a step in the right direction, considering that we have the omnipresent Comic-Con sitting there at the end of the year just going like, hey guys, we do everything.
It's almost like Comic-Con's like the villain. It's like, I've come onto the scene and I'm doing it all. And the other little cons are like, no, we will fight you.
But I like the fact that Rush and Geekfest have their separate identity. They focus on things. Because I think the one thing that was sort of odd man out at Comic-Con last year was the gaming aspect. I mean, you had that big HP Omen set, and then you had
which I still like. They needed to license Prodigy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it now. HP people, you need to license Prodigy, and like whenever they have a box, you pick it up. It just needs to play like it's an man. I know it costs a ton to do it.
They just add the licensing fee onto the processor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you had the stage where they were doing the gaming stuff. And
well, the two stages there. The CS:GO stuff was really good to watch. Like, I found myself like drawn there for the finals. It's really good to see, especially also considering we had energy there. So,
but I would prefer the artist alley being closer to the.
Not
sort of stuff. Another game because we had Rage coming like the next week, sort of thing. It was just a bit weird. So I like the fact that Rush and they have their own identities. But if they're going to do a joint con, they should make some sort of effort to.
It should have been called Rush and Geekfest. Not just Rush.
Featuring
Geekfest. They just happen to be at the same venue on the same time. It should have been called Come to Russian Geekfest. And some sort of buy one ticket for Russian Geekfest.
Yeah, because I'm sure you had cosplayers as Dota characters and LoL characters and all of that. So you could have had some sort of crossover.
It's so interesting there because like the cosplay was a big part there. They had the Japanese MC were there as well again. The whole theme for Geekfest was big in Japan this year, so they had a lot of buy-in there. It seems the Japanese government are quite heavily investing in Japanese or the cosplay culture that's sort of like being built up.
There was a very nice post on the Japanese embassy Facebook page about the event. It was sort of like heartwarming, we so love that the people in South Africa love our culture so much.
So it's interesting to see there, but from the sound of it, they didn't use the main stage for the cosplay. They had a separate stage, and they had to kind of keep things a little bit down in order to, not interrupt the tournament play that was going on from the Russia's side. So a little bit of a thing where there could be a bit more intermingling, but I'm certain it's going to be lessons learned. Not a like and it still went off. They still had the cosplay thing there. It sounds like. I know we chatted to Shelley yesterday for our podcast, and she was mentioning that she hasn't been to a Geekfest for years. So when she got there to Rush, which she has been supporting for a long time, and also there's all these other stands, all these other things.
So it was a pleasant expansion.
It was a pleasant expansion for her. And whereas other people who've been to Geekfest for a long time, we're kind of like, this is a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. I'm not really too sure. So I think it's an interesting one to see what all the different people got the interaction, but also just seeing get these clash of peoples and not necessarily have it as a bad clash, but more of a hey, let's see what kind of
intermingling stuff.
I think it's interesting because not a lot of. I mean, I'm certainly not interested in esports. I'd rather play the game than watch the game. But if there's a cosplayer who's not interested but likes to cosplay as an Overwatch character, they can sort of start getting interested or get ideas for costumes just from being in the same vicinity. So I can see a lot of synergies.
Not to mention all the gamer fans of the game will see the person cosplaying and be like, it's my favorite character, and that sort of adds a whole lot.
So I think it's a good idea, and it's a good start.
I want to see what they do next year with it, and if they're going to be in the same time and area, sort of thing.
Yeah,
I assume with Rush having their finals always that week, sort of thing, it'll be a lockdown on there. I think they might have to think they're getting a bigger venue. Sounds like, at least from like the Saturday sort of thing. But it sounded a bit compact on the Saturday. But this, I've spoken to some of the store owners, and they were like, "It was amazing. We made so much money on Saturday." So although that's it. I think there are less guys there with the stalls, but maybe hearing from everyone else of like, "Wow, there was so much potential there." Well, if there's less stalls, it's probably because people go to Geek Fest with a budget in mind. If there's less stores to pick from, more people are spending more at. I think there's probably a delicate balance somewhere in there that you're going to have to like see as we go along.
I mean, if they do decide to go to a bigger venue, sadly they're going to bring it back to Joe. So I don't think there's many bigger venues in Pretoria.
Well, do something what could be hilarious is I suppose the problem is you need the infrastructure for Rush.
Yes.
Otherwise you just be like Foot Track Monument, go.
Which wouldn't be bad.
The Capital Craft things, a lot of like big shows out there. So I think it wouldn't be a terrible venue for like at least the stalls and stuff, but there's no
there's no like hall for the game.
Actual in the Foot Track Monument. Great.
I don't think they have the power.
No, I don't think they would.
Or the network infrastructure. Like, did you know the Foot Track Monument has like fiber?
That's a P1 line.
The esports side did sound very exciting. I know you're not an esports guy. But just chatting to Shelley about it, it sounded like it was packed full of energy, and the announcers they had were apparently quite good.
A lot of like decent shoutcasters and known shoutcasters for stuff. A lot of Twitch and other streams going out around it, and also it's the finals, so it's top 4, top 8 players or teams for a given thing. So it's at a very high standard, and from that perspective, you can only go up. We're now hit like things like the Overwatch. We now have a proper thing for going through the World Cup. We've just recently had Bravado pull off like quite big things of like in their future. So
that's awesome.
It's really going from strength to strength, but trying to get in other people to actually kind of see that from other geeky spheres. You can't go really too wrong there.
I think cosplay is a good one to get involved with the esports.
Yeah, and the cosplay scene is growing massively.
Yes.
I've just seen it escalate and exponentially grow.
I think like everything like from like the WGS sort of like in support coming in. I think prize money is coming in. You've got people like Kimpatsu and etc. who've now made their name and like are international artists who go to BlizzCon, go to these big things, being like, hey, we're South African, but we've made it on this global stage. We can only hope that happens with a lot of other things. Kind of wonder with our geeky fests and stuff beyond that of what the scope of it is. I don't really see too many things like, hey, we're going to have a massive 40k tournament and get that $10,000 winning thing like that, like an LVO or whatever.
One can dream.
There's your 3D printer paid for.
And then some. Or I don't think it'll pay for the army though.
Ironically. But other event-wise, we've got Icon Durban coming up.
Yes.
Down in the what's it? They've renamed the sports.
It's no longer the Old Mutual Sports Hall.
But it's the university
one. Old Mutual Sports Hall.
It used to be called that, but they've renamed it something else now.
Okay. I saw the advertising recently. It still said Old Mutual Sports Hall.
Okay. I think that's just so that people don't get lost.
Still not.
But it's still on the campus at the university there.
Okay. And, Westville or is it the University Douw in Westville or?
It's the Technicon.
So it's up there on the hill.
I think it's Westville.
Sorry, Durban guys. We don't know your university so well. But we know you're running Icon and we're going to be there.
Yes.
So that should be exciting.
Okay. What's different from the Icon we had here in April?
Interestingly, even just different from last year Icon Durban, they've compacted it to 2 days instead of 3. Which is an interesting move. Apparently, there was a lot of feedback that 3 was too spread out, and people couldn't really get they would rather have a smaller, more dense convention. So we'll see how that goes this year. I'm a little bit sad about it because we normally make a road trip of it. And now it's like, well, it's only for 2 days now. So
it just means you get extra drunk on the Friday.
It's true. Drink responsibly on the Friday.
Hey, Uber's a thing.
As long as you don't run the quiz drunk.
That's running on the Saturday night. But yeah,
I think like locally on the streamer side at least, we've got Creators Unite coming up, which you can look forward to seeing more information as we get closer to it. Look out for our next Monday night replay and get that going there.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks for joining everyone. Keep tuned on Nexus for all our latest gaming news and all the new reviews and such, and look for other games to add to your growing catalogue of suggestions that we built, and hopefully.
And let us know what your favorite game of 2019 is so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Good night.